All right, so Anthony, when you start drawing here, so you're kind of, I'm working off your reference here, so just so you know. So when you're working off this, you're not really drawing the under shapes, and I think that'll kind of help you out a little bit more. There's some blaring issues wrong with your stuff here. So if we look at just some basic things here. Let me get a decent brush here. So the angle of the face is okay, but you move the angle of the face here, so you move vertically and then you move down. And in all reality, the face should just keep going like so. The eyes, you have the eyes kind of going horizontal, but in all reality, they're going down like so. So these are the angles that you need to pay attention to when you're using the reference. The nose is pretty close. You work straight down, um, and then it kind of goes horizontally across, and then you want to match the shape of the eyebrows here, and the eyes as well as with the mouth. So instead, you've got it kind of going horizontal. So if you do those fixes, that'll help you out a little bit. But what you want to do when you do this is start building off of basic shapes. So start with your sphere, okay? And we do a simple sphere, and then you angle the sphere according to the angle of the eyes. And this is where you measure these things. Um, you measure down the center of the face here, so that's your center, and then we're going to cut off kind of part of the side here. Okay, build up your initial face here, and we're just going to kind of build off of the direction of this line, this center line, and the edge lines here. So that's just going to kind of build outward. Now, as you build, you probably want to narrow the face a little bit, so it's going to angle towards it a little bit this way. We're going to flatten out the blocks, and then this here, so this is where we kind of build up that middle of the face. This is where the ear kind of hits and comes down like so. So here's the jawline, and then from the jawline it comes down like so. So this is, this, by doing this, you're blocking out the head, you're blocking out that basic shape. And then from there, that's when you can start building up things. So grab a little, remove the opacity, start up another layer here, and then start blocking out the shapes. So, we start matching the eyebrows here, like so. And we're going to, what happens is this kind of indents a little bit here and comes down, and then the eye comes across here. Now I'm keeping it parallel with the eye on, or the horizon line that I made. So I'm building up these basic shapes, and we're just going to kind of build up like so. So I'm building up the eye. Even though the eyes are a little bit closed, I'm building up those basic shapes. So I've got an indent here, and then I've got, this is actually a little bit over, so we're just going to kind of move this a little bit over. And then think about it as a three-dimensional shape. When you start doing, practice on faces and things like that, there's so many complex shapes that you really need to kind of think about it as, flat planes and things like that. So we build out a flat plane for the bridge of the nose, and then it has this kind of flattened feel to it. So it's kind of a trapezoid down here, like so. And so by blocking that out, make sure your angles are properly done. And then we're going to build the mouth in there. So the mouth actually kind of comes down here like so, and we measure the mouth according to kind of the center of the eye. So here's the mouth, and then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of match that up as well. And now the mouth curves a little bit, so just be aware of that. And then we're going to build up a little bit of foreground here, and then start building up again our basic shapes. And so always kind of what you always want to do is kind of navigate this towards towards your kind of construction of the face. So even though it's really rough here, it's still giving me the kind of basic shapes that I want to achieve through this. And so I'm just kind of following contours now. I'm going around the mouth, and then it kind of dips in, and then here's the chin. Chin comes around up here, like so. Maybe a little bit further back, actually. Yes, a lot further back here. So we're just going to kind of move this back like so, and then it's going to come up here like that. And then think of this coming around the cheek here, and then back this way. So here's where your ear starts, and then again, same thing. This comes back here, so your ear is coming back like that. So that's how you want to kind of flesh out that face. And then again, go a little bit. Oops, not so much. So go a little bit tighter, a little bit more, a little bit cleaner this time around, and then you can start kind of developing more of the face. When you've got those landmarks in, that's when you can start going in and saying, okay, look, I've got the landmarks in, I've got the facial features in there. And you can start developing that kind of process of getting the right shape in there, getting the right look and feeling, and things like that. And so when you get good enough, you can start seeing the individual shapes. And until that point, you draw as many smaller shapes as you need to kind of fill in that face. And so you can see here, I'm just kind of roughing in this basic shape, but I'm still giving myself, I'm still working on top of the basic shapes that I created. Okay, so that's how you want to really kind of look at the kind of when you're building up. Now, a lot of this here, it's going to look different at this point because there's no facial hair on there. But when you start getting the facial hair, and when you start understanding, that basic shape of that, that again changes the idea. So again, you can see here really quickly I've built up kind of that face overlying my basic structure. And so that's kind of what you want to do to kind of build up that concept. Now when it comes down to facial hair, let Photoshop do some of the work here. So I'm just going to go here. I got a brush here. Let me see here. So skin and fur, and I believe this is the stubble. Okay, and we're just going to kind of start building up this stubble. As it gets bigger and bigger, we're going to kind of build up this idea that he's kind of got this kind of different stubble all the way around here. And then even though I'm not this isn't completely done, I still have the opportunity to go in here and start building up kind of some of these longer strokes and things like that. Now, don't feel like you need to use a brush like this. I'm just using this as to kind of speed up the process. But you can definitely see how I'm overlaying different brushes to kind of build up that idea. So again, it just work with the form, keep going on it, and I think you'll have a better kind of layout. Just so you know, just kind of watch those ideas. Now, as I look at this, one of the things that I see automatically is the angle of the face here, and I just these are things that you have to pay attention to. I need to angle this a little bit more, and so again, that goes in, and I need to kind of erase some of this out, and that's okay. Make those fixes, because you'll learn from those mistakes. If you fix them, you'll learn real fast. You just start keep doing it, and eventually it'll become second nature. All right, hope that helps, Anthony.